few people ask about increasing the size, string there, the size of this pattern for the baby dress. And this really is for a very small infant. But there is a way you can use this pattern to kind of create a larger pattern. And it's not really that hard. It's if you have a child with you that you're going to make this for and you can measure, it's even better. What I'm going to do is just kind of show you how to increase the size. But as far as measuring and all that, I don't have a toddler here, so I can't do that. That is your job. You could look up toddler sizes online and see what the average size is, and you could kind of go from there. If you're going to make a bigger pattern, you might want to start by getting a roll of brown paper. This paper comes in really handy. I think I give about $4 for it at Walmart. It might have been even less. It's brown packing paper, but I love to use it to make patterns because it's nice and sturdy and it's cheap. Okay, I've cut a piece of this brown packing paper, and I'm sorry that my workspace is so tight here. This little table that comes out on my sewing table is the only place I have right now to cut patterns. My kitchen table is one of those little card tables, and it's kind of starting to bow, so I can't even use it. But my plan next week is, I have it in my budget to buy one of those fold-out tables at Walmart, so that when I do videos especially, I can set up there and cut out patterns. I went out and I raised the camera a little bit, so maybe you can see more what I'm doing. This brown paper wants to curl up because it comes in a roll. So what I do, before I even start using it for anything, is I will iron it to get that curl out of it. You don't need to set your iron on too high. I've got it set on wool. And I just iron it down, and it works. This is for a 2-year-old. I want to increase the size of this quite a bit because from newborn, 3 months, whatever, to 2 years old is really drastic size difference. And I like to kind of find my flat side of my paper, the side that I didn't do any cutting on, because I know it's cut straight. And so for a 2-year-old, I think I would want to add around here to the bottom hem, to the side, the folds, and up here, so that you have plenty of arm room. Just want to trace along here. I do think you would need to add a little bit to this side too, because the armhole's going to need to be bigger. So I'm going down and let's use a ruler so we don't make a mess. I want to put the ruler on this side so that I can see what I'm doing. I don't want to increase too much, because that is not really the ideal way to make a flare or make something more gathered the way she's created this pattern, because this point, when you go to sew everything together, it kind of comes to an odd angle. So I don't particularly recommend that. It's more of making it wider so that you can make it more gathered, but I'll explain that in another video. Anyway, okay, and I've gone down there about, I don't know, about 4 inches. I'm going to come across here. I think with these little dresses, the more they flare, the prettier they are. So, I mean, you know, you can add just about as much width to this as you want, and you're going to have a pretty little dress. Okay, and over here I'm adding about 2 inches. I'm kneading down there at that part. Okay, so now up here, we're going to need to increase our height a little bit so that that armhole is wide enough for a 2-year-old. So I'm going to go over here, just increase right here, and then I'm going to kind of freehand this part. It's not that difficult to figure it out. And she kind of gives it a little goes up right there. You don't necessarily need to do that. I've made dress patterns before, and you can do it like this. So then there the dress size is increased, and you're allowing for about a ½ inch hemline. And that'd be a pretty good size dress on a toddler, maybe come down to the knees. If you wanted it shorter, just don't add as much there. And then with the sleeve, what you would want to do is actually, you can just draw your sleeve onto where you've got the armhole right here to increase the size of it. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with this. I just wanted to come in and explain because I had some people ask. But this is, you know, if you want to increase the size of it, that would be how I would do it. Probably myself, because I've done this for so long, and I always made Daisy's little dresses, and actually used to have a pattern like this that I had made myself, but I lost it over the years. Just when she got older, I would just, when I laid it on the fabric, say this is the fabric, I would just push it over a little bit, and I would freehand cut this and cut this out, and then I would customize the sleeve to fit the new armhole. And so I kind of used the same pattern over the years from the time she was 4 until she was about 8 or 9, when she finally decided she didn't want to wear Mommy's homemade dresses anymore. So anyway, that's how you would increase the size on this pattern. And a lot of people just take the pattern and cut it down the middle and will increase the size that way. I don't particularly do that myself because you have to increase here, here, and here to get it to a larger child size. So yeah, that's it, y'all. Peace. Bye-bye.